Red level is the second level in the spectrum. So if you just found out you're red level, it means survivor. Survivor is kind of like someone bobbing up and down in the ocean where you're underwater one moment, you're up the next. The definition of survivor is that as far as your personal flow goes, you are making just enough money to have nothing. Now that could be a lot of money a month, it could be just a little bit, but every month at the end of the month, your bank account shows pretty much the same thing. Now, how did you get to a place like this? For many people, they get to survivor level by being so focused at their job or their business or their investments, they really weren't thinking that much about money coming to themselves. Or every time they took a bump up in the money coming to them, they also took a bump up in the cost that they had as well. Now, we're actually educated to do this, the way you get mortgages from banks, the way that, you're working with your financial advisor to find out what you can afford, that for many of us, we're actually educated to say if we have extra money, we'll put it towards something, whether it's insurance or whether it's that holiday, but not in something that's going to appreciate dramatically in such a way that we're actually building a portfolio for ourselves as well. And until you do that, there's really no way to get to wealth. You can't expect it to come just from that one home run. So, you might be someone who's in a job. You could be someone who's a multi-millionaire investor on paper, but you're still scraping to get by every month. And for many of us, we know the way out of this is either we've got to cut our costs down so that we're actually going into positive, or we're going to up our earnings. And that means for some of us, it is as simple as just paying ourselves more. But what's important about this is not what you're doing here, but why you're staying here. Someone stays at survivor level because they simply don't have the energy which is going to lift them above it, which means they can never get out of the foundation prism. Think about this. Think about if you were in a team and someone shows up who says, look, I'm willing to just put in enough effort that I get out the same reward. I just want to survive in this team. I don't want to be doing anything more. I don't want to add any extra value in such a way that I can take something away to say, look what value I delivered and what I got paid for it extra. I'm willing in my life to just make sure I'm at zero. And as long as you're at that place, just like a team wouldn't want to accept someone like that, the universe doesn't want to accept someone like that either. Which is why someone at that level is always going to have a hard time attracting what they really want to them. So 3 steps to stay there. 3 steps to stay there is number 1, you're measuring your money so you know at least you're not going negative, because one down from there is the victim, which is infrared, which is losing money every month, so you're not there at least. So number 1 is measuring your money, you know where you're at. Number 2 is you commit to conduct. You know that, look, if I lose the earnings that I'm getting right now, I'll get more from somewhere else. I don't want to overspend at the moment because I don't want to go negative, right? So you've got already a basic level of conduct, but you're keeping that. And number 3, you're just doing your duty. But what you're not doing is you're not giving yourself the opportunity to really shine. So if you want to get higher up the spectrum, there's 3 steps to take you there. The first one, pinpoint your passion. Now, a lot of us say, I've got to go follow my passion. This does not mean follow your passion at the expense of doing your duty or measuring your money. Some people do that. They end up in a worse situation by quitting their job with no idea how they're going to go out there and make money afterwards. Pinpointing your passion is being very, very clear about what order it is by which you are passionate about things in such a way that you can really charge the things that are going to make a difference in your life and connect up with the others who already are charged up like that too. So you're connecting into that power. If you can pinpoint your passion, the second thing is to set your standards. Because what you notice is that those teams that are really focused on getting a great result, they have higher standards as well. Setting your standards means that you're saying, okay, well, how much positive do I want to be every month? And even if I'm not a multimillionaire yet, is $100 enough? Maybe $1,000. You'll be amazed how quickly compound interest means that you can start getting wealthier and wealthier as you move forward. I want to share with you that in my 20s, I had low standards. If you think of standards something you settle for, whereas goals are something you reach for, I had goals up on the 50th floor, and I was still down in the basement. And it was only when I started really learning from mentors around me that going for the multi-million dollars every time and then falling back down was like jumping for the 50th floor when my feet were in the basement. But to actually get into the escalator or into the stairs or into the elevator that's going to take me up and actually make sure that every day I was a little bit higher. That if I could do that, then even if I jumped and jumped forever and never got to the 50th floor, eventually I'd be at the 50th floor anyway. And that's exactly what happened. And no matter how much I tried the big wins in terms of creating my wealth, it all came from the small wins. And it came from one step after another step. And it all changed the moment that I decided to change my standards. Every profile does it differently. But you will find that those who are more extrovert will do it by connecting to others who have higher standards. You'll find that those who are more introvert will actually make sure they've got a proper to-do list of how they're going to do it. And you find much more of this information within the test results once you find out you're at red level within the spectrum. But there's a third part as well, which is probably most important, which is follow the flow. Now, this is not follow your flow, because there are many people who see that having a river is a good way to have flow, so I just start digging a river. But they're digging where there is no flow, so as a result, you're not digging a river, you're actually digging a hole. Starting a business to try and make more money is not the way to do it. connecting with someone else who's doing that, that is the way to do it. But make sure they're already connected to your passion. But finding the flow is finding out where the flow in the market currently is. And by actually spotting where that is and working towards it allows you to also create your tributary, where you're now adding value to those people in flow. Because guaranteed, where you may have time but not the money, there's someone else who's got the money but simply doesn't have the time. And wouldn't want your time either unless you're coming to it with passion. Those are 3 steps. I've gone through a very simple outline of those 3 steps. All the detail you'll find within all the programs we have within the Lighthouse. But as the first 3 steps, the first one is to know that you've got to pinpoint your passion, and the first passion has got to be progress. If you're willing to make that progress, then you're ready to take the first step towards moving up to orange.